Today I wanted to talk about poly equipment a little bit. And what I have here is 3 different styles of poly stakes. This one, plastic, is the one I use the most of here on the farm. They work really well. The only thing I don't like about them is if you put too much strain on them, you can see that they get bendy, but for the most part they do a really good job. I can't take that from them. Now there is a step up. You can get this one. It's a little bit taller than the other. Not much, but it is one heck of a lot stiffer. Now notice the difference in the eyes where the PolyWire goes through. Now this is an old one, so it's broke, but every one of the eyes were like this. This one has 2 options. You've got these eyes, and you've got this hook and loop eye, which I really like using the ATV to tear these down, because I'm able just to go right by and floop, 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 get them all undone, and it's quick. Now the last one here I have is fiberglass. Very durable and sturdy. It doesn't bend real easy when I put pressure on the PolyWire. The downside to these is, after a few years, they're going to start what they call silvering, because they're fiberglass. Fiberglass silvering is basically where it splinters, and every time you touch it you get little fragments of fiberglass in your hand. Very, very uncomfortable. So for these, whenever I use these, I have to wear a glove, which I carry on the ATV. Right here. So that's just a couple of kinds of poly stakes. The fiberglass is a good purchase, but like I said, after a few years. Now I don't know if you could do something to the fiberglass to keep it from splintering. If you know of something, please let me know. Now as far as the reels for PolyWire, we have a couple of the fancy actual reels for PolyWire, but they run about $40 and up. So the majority of them are these extension cord winders. And since we practice intensive grazing, a lot of the times, you know, the paddocks are all different sizes. So what I'll do is I'll cut the PolyWire, and then after I wind it back up the next day or later that day, I'll just tie it back together with the PolyWire that's left on the reel. Now a lot of people believe you're not going to get good current flow if you cut the PolyWire and then tie it back together. Well, there's a little trick on how you tie your PolyWire that's going to make a big difference. In this PolyWire, which is just polyethylene rope pretty much, there is several fragments or several real fine wires, stainless steel wires, running through this PolyWire and kind of braided in, I guess. That's what carries the current through the PolyWire. There is one of the stainless steel strands, and you can kind of see them in there now that the camera's focused, that are just kind of braided right in. See how they're just kind of braided right in there? Well, let me show you real quick the easiest and best way to get a good connection when tying this back together. Okay, well, to make this a little easier to see what I'm doing, I've got 2 different kinds of PolyWire, and that doesn't make any difference. You can join these together just fine. But it also make it easier to see how I'm tying them because they're different. This one's a little heavier here, and this one's a little smaller. So what we're going to do is we're going to come back a couple inches, maybe about here. We're going to come back a couple inches to about here. We're just going to tie it into a knot. Okay? Now if we leave it like that, whenever we go to pull on it, it's going to slide to put tension on our PolyWire, so we don't want that. And it's also not going to have very good connection. So to make the connection better, we're going to take this one, which for some reason, whenever you make this first knot, this one always pulls back towards itself. Same with this one, it pulls back towards itself. So that's an easy way to remember, because when both of these are the same PolyWire, it makes it a little bit confusing. So I'm going to take this one now, and I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to tie another knot on this one. You see how I'm taking this one and making more connections. Well, what that's going to do is help complete the connection and let the current flow through. And now we're going to take the red and white one and tie around this white and black one. So you can see, really, it's just like one PolyWire now. Now, it might look like a massive knot, and I don't ever cut these off. I always just let them hang there. It's never caused any problems. Just like that. And now I've got a good straight, or a good tight knot. I can put tension on this PolyWire. It's not going to pull apart, but yet it's got lots of connection points in there for them stainless steel wires to touch each other, which is what you need to have good connection. And which, the same on the fence. I always wrap it around the fence 3 to 4 times. You can see I got tied in a knot here. But let's see, I've got it tied around the fence. 1, 2, 3. That gives it plenty of places for this stainless steel wire to contact the fence. So there you go. That's about the gist of it on the PolyWire and the poly stakes. Just a basic rundown on what they do and what there is out there, and a little bit how they work. So thanks for watching, and if you like this video, don't forget my thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thanks again.